Howdy, everybody. My name is Mason Smith. This is part two of the nonprofit organization modules. So, this is all just going to be the how. We already covered the why, and that's the most important part at my end. Um, Without a clearly defined why or reason, there's just no sustainability for a nonprofit. But if you already have that why, and we went over all the ways to kind of find it, 4A's, all that stuff, and you have that passion, it is incredibly easy, and you will help so many people. This picture right here is actually a very, very special moment. I am in tears right there in the middle, praying over this family in the orange and red that we just donated their own personal two-bedroom home that has locking doors and windows and a concrete foundation. This structure to the left is what they were living in before, and it is just dirt floors. I mean, just scrap wood as walls and a tin roof held down by weight. So, like random weights, pieces of mud, brick, stones, all that kind of stuff. So yes, and this is the ceremony of us giving it away from our nonprofit Feed and Father. So now we'll move into how to start. This is just step by step. I want to leave as little ambiguity as possible. So from passion to action. So common definitions. These are where most people, I think, get start stumbling, right? So once you just kind of get familiar with these common definitions, this will come a lot from what I mentioned earlier about just meet with people that run nonprofits. There, you can easily search whatever town you're in, whatever town you end up in. If you're still in BCS, there's so many nonprofits that are doing amazing things. So a nonprofit is an organization formed to serve a public or charitable purpose, not to generate profit for private individuals. So don't get that mixed up with that you never have profit. You need to have profit. The first organization I sat down with was the director for Habitat for Humanity. And he goes, the first rule of a nonprofit is to make profit. You can do essentially no good if you don't have profit. So that comes from fundraising, that comes from maybe your own funds, friends and family. We have a lot of businesses that donate to us and do it as a charitable write-off for their business, which helps them with taxes and all those sorts of things. So that's nonprofit. 501c3, you're going to hear that term thrown around a lot. A lot of people won't even actually donate to you unless you are an actual registered 501c3, which we'll get into. So all that means is a section of the IRS tax code that grants federal tax exempt status to qualifying nonprofits. So we got the EIN. So this is very similar to your Social Security number. It's just an employee identification number required for banking, tax filing, and legal documents. Very easy. And we'll talk about how to get your EIN as well. IRS form 1023 or 1023EZ. So this is what I file for our nonprofit is the EZ. We don't ever do anything over 50,000 a year. It's pretty small and precise. So if you end up going over 50,000, it's definitely recommended to get a CPA certified tax consultant to help you with your taxes. So it takes 2 seconds to file. So certificate of formation, legal form filed with the Texas Secretary of State to officially create your nonprofit. Registered agent is just a person or service who receives legal and tax documents on behalf of your nonprofit. I am the registered agent for ours. It's not a big deal. Board of directors, a group of 3+ unrelated individuals required for the 501c3 who provide oversight, strategic guidance, and accountability. Just pick you and 2 trusted individuals. Bylaws, written rules that govern your nonprofit. conflict of interest policy, required policy that ensures decisions benefit the nonprofit's mission, not individuals or friends. So, yeah, remember the nonprofit, go back to the definition, it serves a public or charitable purpose, not to generate profit for private individuals. For-profit organizations, so just businesses in general, LLCs, whatever you want to call it, are fantastic, and they do a lot of good as well. But the nonprofit specifically gets a tax exempt status because you are not lining your pockets. You are specifically using the funds in a way that serves a charitable purpose. So, forming pass, to pass to forming an NPO. So, do it yourself. If you're a small one that's going to do less than 50K, definitely recommend just doing it yourself. If not, you can hire a service, which makes it a lot easier. So if funds are no issue and you have a large charitable backer or whatever it is, then just hire a service, not a big deal. I've got a couple links here. So the SOS direct link here on the left is the site that you're going to go through. It's very simple. I have a step-by-step video also here that shows you exactly how to log in, create your account, go to nonprofit. I think it's actually, this one is for business. There's not a step-by-step for the nonprofit, but on the options, you'll easily see what you're creating and you'll just click nonprofit. So first thing you got to do, pick a name. It has to be unique in Texas. You'll do that through the SOS Direct website. Avoid misleading or offensive terms, so make it pretty generic. Feed and Father is actually a spinoff from an organization that myself and Chase, the founders, were part of in high school, and it's called Feed and Seed. So we loved it, and we went Feed and Father because our mission, again, is kind of geared towards fatherlessness. Again, check domain availability and kind of make it match your mission, just like we did. So designating a registered agent. This can be yourself. A lot of people get mixed up on this and they end up going with like a service like LegalZoom and paying a ton of money for them to be your registered agent. And then they realize, oh, I didn't even need that. So this can be yourself. Responsible for receiving legal and tax mail. So like I said, I just have my address as the receiving entity address. Must have a Texas address because, like I said, this is specifically for Texas. And it's optional to use a professional service, and it's just going to cost you an annual fee. Choose your team. So the 3 directors cannot be related by family. So you need to pick 2 people. In my picture here, I have Chase on the left and Cole on the right. This was at an event that we did. We took some kids out from a local nonprofit or ministry called SOS, Save Our Streets. And we taught them how to fish, how to shoot, I think a bow or a crossbow, and took them on some hayride, gave them some exposure to some amazing Aggies in the area, the Carpenters. If they ever see this, shout out. You guys are awesome. The minimum roles are president and secretary. Again, not a big deal. Board, high-level oversight. So once you really start growing, you're going to need a board that is the high-level oversight, right? And these people are really there for the network, right? So your board members bring a massive amount of network to your nonprofit. So if you have friends and family that are high up business owners or very involved in the community, these are excellent people to have on your board. You can serve as both officer and director if your bylaws allow. You create your bylaws. I am both an officer and director. File the certificate of formation. So it's a Form 202. SOS Direct will lead you straight through it. For a nonprofit, it's $25. For a for-profit, it's $300. So again, there's that incentive. The government wants you to form nonprofits because they do good for the country as a whole and as the state. So key info, your entity name, your purpose, your registered agent, your nonprofit manager, so your members, and your organizer's name. So creating your bylaws and conflict policy. Bylaws is how your organization operates. There are tons of templates. This QR code right here is a template a free template online. You can use anything you want. Don't get caught up here. That's the main thing, is don't be intimidated by all these legal jargon that you think stands in your way, but it really just helps you when you're creating these bylaws. You're organizing your nonprofit in a good way. Hold your first organizational meeting. So adopt your bylaws and policies, take attendance, elect your officers, sign minutes, record decisions. Very simple. Picture down here is us praying before we started working on a house in Guatemala. And I just thought that was like fitting. As we get together, we pray, and then, assign tasks and just go out and help people. So getting your employee identification number. So this is your EIN. This is a step-by-step video on here on the left on how to do that. You do it through irs.gov. Very simple. You'll need this EIN to open your bank account. So you can use any bank. I recommend looking for ones that offer matching programs. So a lot of like USA will do a matching program for nonprofits where they'll match a certain percentage of your donations. You'll need this number to file taxes. Like I said, that 1023 EZ form, and then apply for your 501c3 status, which you apply at irs.gov. So file for your 501c3 status. You'll do your IRS form, 1023 EZ. It'll cost $275, just part of operating. This makes you exempt from federal income tax. So this is really good for, let's say, you're helping a local community with building, or maybe rehabbing a property for family to improve their living conditions, whatever it is. When you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or anybody and you buy $5,000 worth of material, you can use this code or this status to do all tax-free purchases for your project. Like I said, the government is removing that tax to incentivize you to help people, because the government wants its citizens to help people internally. I love this kid over here on the right. So that's literally it. So final encouragement, start small, learn as you go. God can use your imperfect steps to make real change. If you help one person, it's worth it. I'm going to keep hitting on that. If you help one person, all this stuff is worth it. And you can do that without a nonprofit. This is specifically for people that are called to maybe a larger mission set or larger purpose. But if you help one person with your NPO, that's what matters. So in Module 3, we will cover how to lead and grow your nonprofit team, which is also pretty simple. And I want to demystify a lot of that stuff.